on this rap-ish. I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list. Hope I ain't missing my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues. Guess if you ain't at the table, you on the menu. And I'm that spitter, baby. They don't want you to see, but everybody south of Capitol Hill's rocking with me. Boys smoke the trays and ponder getting their life together. I'm comfortable with my role, so I'm like, whatever. Me? I ain't got a job, but I work hard. And you don't work hard, but you got a job. The irony is I'm judged while you feel the applause. I'm slept on, that's why I had to set this alarm. My dudes is armed, I'm armed with this arm charm. Body banging like she got that cream from Barry Bonds. Yeah.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
That Dre season is here, a real hitter with a mic, I'm everything that they fear. With that hood ain't the same, I was all on their ass, I'm level-headed. So yo, my dudes love when I spaz, and I'm so over Seattle's passive-aggressive attitude. They don't call you back, what they really saying is F you. While I'm from the same place, I move at a different pace. I prefer if you just said it to my face, damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it
I
for
hate these
us.
average dudes with they average spit, writing average rhymes, knocking average chicks. The closer I get, I can feel the people starting to shift. I'm loyal to a fault, and everybody can't come with. Rap's a rich man's game, I'm only playing with change. They bang models and singers, I'm knocking my old flame, I'm different. The crowd, I move with the chosen few. Black thoughts, I could be the front man for the roots. No diamonds and gold, I'm on my sticks and stones. If we can see your panty line, you should have on a thong. My team is strong, through this fire we forged a bond. And they already know what it is when I get on. To the hearse, party like it's December 31st. When I'm on my deathbed, I probably cracking my nurse. You ain't got the bars to compete. I'm a verbal athlete, deflating these boys so they say that I cheat. Damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Yeah. I should probably start by apologizing for the long wait, man. You know, I know I be tripping. But I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist. And, you know, my creative process is a little bit different than most. Nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody out to the Dre's Experience. I got TCF in the building. My whole camp's here with me. I got the band in here laying this cool-ass vibe. And I'm Seattle's own. Let's get into it.
All right, good Thursday morning here, and welcome to the Morning Update Show. My name is Omari Salisbury, flying solo today. Trey Holiday, man, she's chopping it up with the elders right now. Age-friendly Seattle, great event that's going on. So it's just me, but I'm not alone today in the studio. I'm going to be joined by Seattle Fire Chief Harold Scoggins, talking about recruitment over there in the fire department. There's the man. Chief looked good in that picture. They sent over a nice one, huh? Also, we're going to be joined by the legendary singer and artist, Josephine Howell. There she is. So we got an exciting day show lined up for you here. I think we might get a pop in from Julia Jessie. We'll see if Julia pops in. Let's get right into it. We got a full show here today. Good morning. I want to welcome you to the Morning Update Show and remind you that right now is the perfect time for you to tag and share the stream. Go ahead and tag and share the stream with people you feel would appreciate culturally relevant news and information emanating from right here in the Emerald City. Want to give a big shout out to our partners over at KBCS 91.3 over at Bellevue College and also the South Seattle Emerald. You can listen to the Morning Update Show anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast. Oftentimes, we put the link to SoundCloud in over there. You can also find us on Google, Spotify, iTunes, anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast. Before I go any further, though, and I got paper here today. I'm the paper person. Trey has always got her phone. I'm old school, though. We recycle, though. Don't trip. Man, this is coming from Mayor Harrell's office. Breaking news. Mayor Howell announces first steps in permanent police chief search to commence in April. Howell says pleased with interim chief Diaz, who is encouraged to apply. So the chief said that, or the mayor said that he was going to wait about 90 days, and he was going to see what the next way forward is. And it looks like there's going to be a national search. So it's going to be a national search, and he's saying that Chief Diaz is welcome to apply. So we'll definitely be following up on that. I got something here, came over from GSBA, and we want to recognize today is Transgender Day of Visibility. In the GSBA, they actually have an event that's going on at 2:00 today. And we're going to put the link there in the comments. For us, by us, a celebration of trans joy. And so, you know, people that follow us here at Converge, you know that we're all about the uplift of the transgender community. And it's a great event over there at GSBA. And I hope that people can tap into that today at 2:00. We got some important news that came over from the city of Seattle as well. They want to remind everybody, this is the Capital Access Program. The Capital Access Program, there it is up there on the screen. So basically what's going on here is small businesses can borrow up to $150,000 with 4% interest to be used on business expenses such as payroll, rent, and utilities through community lenders. To apply for the Capital Access Grant Program, small businesses need to submit a small business flex fund loan application, and we're going to put a link there in the comments. The OED, the Office of Economic Development, is encouraging all applicants who meet the eligibility criteria to apply, as there will be additional resources accessible via this program. And I think it was $8 million altogether. Here's the big thing, though. This application closes on April 8th at 5 p.m. So Salman has put the link there in the comments. We want to encourage you, if you're a small business owner, man, you're looking for recovery, for help, loan program there. I think the grant days have that boat has sailed. You have to pay this one back, but up to $150,000 at 4%. So good stuff right there. We're going to be following up on that. Again, that closes April 8th. Next up here, what do we got? Oh, Here for Us, of course. And we've got one of our Here for Us people in the building, Josephine Howell. We got the link in the comment right now, Here for Us, WA. And culturally relevant, culturally curated communication around COVID-19, the vaccine, around booster shots, new information about boosters and who should get boosters, as well as testing information and really talking to people who might be hesitant in our community. That link is there in the comments, and we encourage you to follow up there. And Josephine's going to give us her experience and everything else. Oh, no, don't worry. We got a few commercial breaks. Wait till you see Josephine Howell. Woo, she came here dressed for TV, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Continuing our messaging here around For Culture, the 2022 project grants, and the date that ends is April 20th. For Culture, they went into the bag once again. They got grants there, and this grant has actually been open for a long time, and you see the deadline is April 20th. Please don't be hitting us up on April 19th, like, man, Big O, can you call over there to For Culture, man, see if they can extend the deadline another day or two? They've been very intentional. We've been talking about this for some weeks, and it's still 20 days left, man. Check it out. Links going in over there in the comments, man. For Culture, once again, showing up big for the culture. Speaking of going in the bag, this is still going on here. Seattle College's Foundation, $4,000 scholarships. If you plan on attending a Seattle College in the fall, the scholarships up to $4,000, and it's not totally unrestricted, but kind of unrestricted funds in the sense that with this scholarship, if you need to pay your rent, you're able to do that. If you need to buy food, Trey Holiday always talking about buying Top Ramen. I'll be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? I've been stepping up. That was a generation ago, you know, when we were struggling. If we still buy Top Ramen, ain't nothing changed. Chief looked like he might have been a Top Ramen eater. No, but $4,000 in scholarships. We want to encourage you to do that. And also just a reminder, you know, Seattle College is there. My mom went to Seattle College. She went to Seattle Central. My brother Toon went to Seattle Central. Trey Holiday went to Seattle Central. Proof in the Play, who's in the building, it went to Seattle Central. Director Sal, this is like a reunion party here. I might be the only person. Seattle Central, man, you know, great opportunities over there for young people in our community. And so the link there is for the scholarship. But man, check them out. If you got a young person there who's looking to get into school, or an older person too, that's the best thing. These are colleges in our community, North, Central, and South. Lots of opportunity going on. Whew, that was a lot right there. Julia here? Okay. Well, in that case, so I raced through everything. But in that case, so the chief is here. You know, he's busy. Fire chief for one of the biggest cities in America. So we're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, man, brother looks good. We got Harold Scoggins, Fire Chief, City of Seattle. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Hey there, it's Trey Holiday. And of course, Besa and I had to take a trip back to Market Street Shoes to grab some items. They always know what to show us. And let me tell you, we both spent quality time to be sure we collected some amazing additions to our wardrobes. They have some of the most unique bags, shoes, and accessories. I mean, the whole shebang. It's always a good time when I get to shop with my girl Besa. Make sure you go check out Market Street Shoes, y'all, and you too can walk out with some dope gear.
My name is Josephine, and I live in Renton, Washington. I am a singer, and I use the arts as a way for me to elaborate on all the concerns of our community. I ended up with COVID, and it impacted my life greatly. I was told sometimes to rest, but resting felt like I would die. I was told to lay down, but laying down flat took my breath away. Even after getting COVID, I still did not want to have anything to do with the vaccination. There was much fear in the African American community, and no one should react out of fear. Before you do anything, pray. And make sure that you're praying to get the answer and not praying to get your answer. Since I received the vaccination, I've been able to breathe. Reconsider asking yourself why you are hesitant, because it wouldn't come up if it didn't need to come out. I'm telling you to stand and make a choice. We'll be all right.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. Joined now by Seattle Fire Chief Harold Scoggins. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You know, you've come here in your official uniform, and I just thought about this. Every time you come, you in uniform. I need my uniform. Can you bring this out here, please?
That's right. Converge. There you go.
Can we take the hanger there, Curtis? Yeah. Let me put on my official.
I like it.
So I look good out here like you know. There we go. Now I got on my dress blue.
I like it. I like the Converge Letterman's jacket.
Yeah, big shout out to Curtis Delgado, Filthy Clothing over there, man, on the design. You know what I'm saying? New stuff. Now more comfortable.
All right. That's right.
Again, welcome. We've had you on so many times now over the last few years. This is something that's near and dear to somebody like me, because every time I talk to you, I'm always like, yo, when I was a kid, Seattle, there were so many black firefighters. They used to have the fireman's ball and all these kind of things. I'm always talking about, man, where are the black firefighters at? And right now, you guys, the Seattle Fire Department is doing recruitment, right?
Absolutely. What an amazing opportunity it is right now. Our applications are open. They opened on March 1st and they close on April 19th. And the way everyone can get that information is go to seattlefirejobs.com. And we are so excited to announce this to the community. And we're really trying to reach out to the community because this is an opportunity. You know, we want our firefighters to be from Seattle. They understand the community, they know what's going on here in the community. So that's the target that we have right now.
Right. And what are some of the perks of being a firefighter in the city of Seattle?
Well, number one, you get to serve the community. That's what really this job is about. It's a servant's heart. It's a heart for service. We get to do things and see things that are really, really difficult. But when you leave the call, you've made a difference in someone's life. The firefighters, they start off making about $82,000 a year. And the basic requirements are a high school education and a GED or diploma and 18 years of age. And so that's a pretty good starting salary. Our schedule is pretty good too. It's about 8 24-hour shifts a month. But during that 24-hour shift, you're probably going to be busy. If you live in the city, you probably hear our sirens around the clock. So we're always doing something.
Right. And the firefighting is one of these things where it's actually a real deal process. It's not one of them show up, fill out the application and everything else. And I think this is probably why you're being very intentional about the intake. Can you talk about the actual process of applying to when you end up on the street?
Absolutely. We want our candidates to come in very well prepared. So we're doing a lot of things to help with that. So I'll talk you through the process. So our applications are open right now, and you get our applications by going to seattlefiredjobs.com. Once you get the applications, you'll schedule yourself a written test. Right now, everything's online. So you're able to do your written test from one of the centers that we have here in Seattle, or even from your own home. So once you do your written exam and you score, based on how you score, you'll get an oral interview. Once you get the oral interview, based on how you rank on the list, then we'll move you down to the next line. There's a physical abilities test, there's a medical, there's a background, there's a psych. And then once you get through all of those things and we select you, then you start our recruit training program, which is about a 15-and-a-half-week program where we really show you the basics of being a firefighter: pulling hose, throwing ladders, EMS, the structure of the organization, all the things that we do on a daily basis.
Yeah. And so what's that timeline look like?
Well, the hiring process that we have going on right now, we're targeting February of 2023 for the first class to come off of this process. Our lists are generally good for 2 years. But the first class off of this list is February of 2023.
Right. And you said that starting pay at like $82,000. You need a high school diploma. And what was one other thing?
18 years of age, high school diploma, or GED.
Right. And I could say this, you guys have really ramped up your messaging about recruitment, and about recruitment in the city, and about recruitment in our community. Why is that?
Well, we think it's important. We're trying to touch the community. This is a great job. And we're just trying to get the word out. We're trying to share it. We're trying to go into places that we haven't been in the past to make those new connections in the community. And that's why the King County Fire Chiefs, we're even taking it a step further. I think when I came last time, we were having a diversity recruitment workshop in Bellevue on December 11th. This time we're hosting it right here in Seattle on April the 9th. And that's a really big deal for us. And anyone interested there, they can go to the King County Fire Chiefs website, and they can actually click the button and register to be there.
Right. I think we got an overlay of that. Do we got an overlay? Somehow? We'll make sure and put it up again here. Man, maybe you could share with everybody a little bit about your journey into firefighting and how you landed up here in Seattle as a chief.
Yeah, it's been a couple days now. I started my journey in municipal firefighting over 32 years ago in November of 1989. But before that, where I actually became familiar with the fire service was serving in the United States Air Force. I was a firefighter for 5 years, from 1984 to 1989. And that's what really opened my eyes up to this profession. It's all about team. I was a kid growing up. I played football, basketball, baseball, loved hard work, loved discipline, that team aspect. And so it really resonated with me with the fire service, because we have all of those things. You don't do anything alone. Everything you do is a team. It's all about for the mission. As a team sports guy growing up, we had a mission to win the game, to run the play, whatever it is. Our mission in the Seattle Fire Department is pretty simple: saving lives and protecting property. We can all get behind that. So when I started in Glendale in '89, I was there for 26 years. Transitioned through all the ranks, and I became the chief in 2008, where I was the chief from 2008 to 2015. And then I was looking for a bit more of a challenge. So, my wife and I talked about it, and we saw the Seattle Fire Chief job was open. So we applied. And I say we, because it's definitely a family decision. We uprooted our family and relocated to Seattle, and we've been here tomorrow, April 1st. 2015 is when I started. So April 1st, 2022 will be my 7-year anniversary here in Seattle.
Hold on, you've been the chief for 7 years?
I've been here 7 years tomorrow.
Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you.
Wow. I had no idea. Did you know that, Josephine? 7 years. Hot dog. Man, if you don't like, I'm glad that you said we, because I knew that it wasn't nothing gonna happen without the other half. But it's also, it speaks to the commitment and the teamwork that you have with your wife and your family, because this is a very high profile job in a very high profile and challenging city.
Absolutely. You know, my wife is probably my number one advisor. You know, I talk to her about most things, and she gives me that unfiltered advice that some don't give me, but I can always count on her for that. So it's definitely a team.
Right. And, you know, speaking of my, the memories of my childhood, you know, it hasn't always been where the percentage of Black firefighters is kind of as low as it is right now. I mean, a generation ago, there was a good amount of Black firefighters here in the city of Seattle, right? That
is true. I did a little research on that, and probably in the late 90s, early 2000s, about 12% of the fire department were Black firefighters. That's about 120 out of 1,000 sworn firefighters. Right now, we're about 6%. But over the last several years, we've been moving in the right direction on not just Black firefighters, but people of color and women. So it has fallen off over the last 20 years. That's why our efforts have been so intentional with our recruitment workshops that we're doing, the King County Fire Chiefs. We sponsor women and EMS and fire events, 2-day workshops. And then you mentioned the Seattle colleges earlier. About a year ago, we kicked off a fire science degree program at North Seattle College, where those in the community can actually go and earn an associate's degree in fire science. And they're actually taking registration right now for the next quarter.
Right. And the Seattle Fire Department has also been innovative. I know this wasn't one of the things we're going to discuss today. Don't worry, I won't take a while, of course.
Okay.
But I will say this: the Seattle Fire Department, especially during COVID, was very innovative and actually a national leader in some of the things that our fire department and our EMS did here. Maybe you could hit on some of that, let our community know the leadership role that the Seattle Fire Department took.
Sure, absolutely. When we walked into COVID 2 years ago this month, a little bit before that, you know, our goal was to determine how can we continue to serve community. And what we knew is our firefighters had to be healthy to do that, and the community had to have that trust in us. So we got approval from Seattle King County Public Health and the State Department of Health to start testing ourselves in March of 2020. That was going so well, we spread it to first responders throughout the region. And then we saw help was needed in our adult family homes, assisted living facilities, and nursing homes. So we actually got permission to go in there and start doing testing to help those populations. And then June of 2020, we opened up our first community testing site. And I'll speed it up a little bit because July 31st of 2021, we transitioned those sites to Seattle King County Public Health and the University of Washington. But up to that point, Seattle firefighters had COVID tested almost 800,000 people. To me, that's absolutely amazing. Departments from all over the country, they called us. They wanted our blueprint. How did you do it? How did you set it up? So we shared it nationally.
Yo, this is the reason why this is dope. And I didn't think about this when I asked the question, but the big light bulb just went off in my head, is that our fire chief, who's been here for 7 years, who looks like a lot of people who watch this platform, you guys innovated a program that fire departments across America were like, man, what are you guys doing right there in Seattle? That's what's up, Chief.
Yeah, you know, it made a difference, and we transitioned it into our vaccinations. You know, we work with so many community-based organizations, and we went into places where people couldn't get to a vaccination site, and we tested. We vaccinated over 300,000 people, and here's the most important fact with that: over 50% were people of color. So people who didn't have access, people who couldn't get to a site, we went to them. We took the vaccinations to them. So we're really proud of these programs.
Yeah. Excuse me. I remember early on, even up at places like First AME, and a lot of the firefighters, a lot of the early places in vaccination were places in community.
Yes.
We were up there, First AME.
Yeah, and yesterday was a bit of a milestone. Yesterday we had our final community vaccination event. So the last 2 years we stood up all these programs, and yesterday we had our last event. We're always available in case the community needs us again, but we finally stood down those programs after the last 2 years.
Yeah, look at that. Seattle Fire Department standing up big for community. That's what's up, Chief. One other thing I wanted to touch on, and then we'll circle back around to recruitment, is one of the things that I think we all see here in Seattle is that we're a city that's dealing with a lot of people around mental health and mental health crisis. One of the things that stories we've covered with you before has been around Health One. And maybe you can tell everybody about Health One. And I believe it's more than just one now, like the program has grown.
It is. It has grown. We started the program in November of 2019 as a pilot. We had an idea and a concept of how can we better serve community once again. You'll continue to hear that theme. So we see what everyone else sees on the street, and our firefighters were always trying to figure out a new way to serve. So when we launched Health One, our goal was, one, we were going to try to tackle those low acuity calls, those calls that need social service needs, those calls that may impact an individual's mental health, those individuals that may be suffering from addiction, and a number of other fronts. So we launched Health One on that premise. And I got to tell you, it's worked so well in really trying to serve people. Instead of our firefighters going on a fire engine and spending, 20 minutes, and our only outlet was to take a person to the ER, Health One has multiple options. Number one, well, do you need a doctor's appointment? Well, let's figure out how to get you a doctor's appointment. If we respond to someone's home and we look around the surroundings, we say, hey, are you in touch with your social worker? If not, well, there's 2 firefighters and a social worker. Let's get your social worker on the phone. Do you need some food? Do you need a blanket? Do you need a ride to the shelter? Or because they're firefighters, they can actually do a medical exam. And if they need an EMS response, we can get that too. So we've continued to grow the program. And as you mentioned, now we have Health One, Health Two, and Health Three. And what we're really excited about, we're close to signing the final pieces on the lease. It's actually going to be off of Rainier, across from Franklin High School. So it's going to be stationed out of there. So we have 3 units right now, and we're really excited about the work that we're doing serving community.
Right. And this is important. People out there should know is that this is when we talk about also a response, a non-911 response, 911 meaning police response to somebody who might be in mental distress or crisis. Health One is an alternative to that, because some people who are arriving are approaching it in the capacity of, hey, this is someone in crisis. How can we best serve them? So this is also something where it's not a police armed response. This is more of a social response.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I'll even build on that with one more that I haven't told you about. On February 8th, we actually launched a nurse line. So a person calls 911, our firefighter dispatchers, they'll go through the EMD medical protocols, and they'll realize it's not a 911 emergency. We now have the ability to transfer the call to a nurse, so the nurse can take the time that's needed, set up a doctor's appointment, or teach them how to do self-care, or call 911 and get us back. So we launched that program on February 8th. It's taken about 200 calls a week out of the 911 system, getting people the proper care that they need and follow-up appointments. So we're really excited about that too.
Man, that's what's up, Chief. All right, circling back, excuse me, to the event on the 8th, and we're going to go ahead and we'll put up the overlay, and you can tell us all about it again.
Yeah, absolutely. So first, I'll remind the community that our firefighter applications are open, but on April 9th at our training center at 9401 Myers Way, we're going to be holding a diversity recruitment workshop. Everyone can go onto the King County Fire Chief's website at kingcountyfirechiefs.org. They can register for the event. We have 4 sessions planned for you that day. 1 on preparing for the oral interview, 1 on how to take the written exam, how to prepare mentally and physically for the job, and then medical, psych, and background process. We're going to serve you a continental breakfast. We're going to bring you lunch so you don't have to leave for anything, and we're going to connect you up with a mentor if that's what you need. So we're really excited about that day.
Yeah, and I think that I think one of the best things and why I was excited to have you on here is that, it's an intentional effort And it's not just lip service. Sometimes people send us stuff. Hey, can you talk about this and that? And I'm like, but this is something that you've been on. There's something that you've been committed to. Something that I've seen building, like, over the last almost 2 years that I've known you personally, that I've seen you building towards. And so I want to say to you guys out there in community, man, firefighting, that's a honorable profession anywhere in the world. And the Seattle Fire Department, I can't believe 7 years under Chief Scoggins here, man, being very intentional and wanting to reach out to community members. He said what the qualifications are. I would really encourage everybody. We put the link in the comments over there. So man, click the link in the comments. If you know somebody who is interested in becoming a firefighter, I think it's very important that they attend. Is there anything else before we let you go, Chief?
Well, thanks for having me on. And then I'll just do that final plug. On SeattleFireJobs.com, before you even fill out the application, if you scroll down, we have 3 webinars already posted that we've done in the month of March. So you'll be able to watch these webinars and get even more information. We're excited about it. We want to make sure that we're representing our community, and this is a way where we can connect with our community. So thank you for having me on.
All right. Seattle Fire Chief Harold Scoggins, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Cool. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, we are joined by the legendary Josephine Howell. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
When COVID first hit, I was very afraid. There was so much things that I had to keep inside because I didn't know where to place my feelings. Most of my information for COVID is from my own research. I'm a doctor in educational leadership. And when the FDA approved Pfizer, it helped me realize that the vaccination is healthy. We don't want to be left behind because we're not taking the vaccine, but we want to get as much information as possible so that we are putting ourselves in better hands and not at great risk.
Hey there, it's Trey Holiday. And of course, Besa and I had to take a trip back to Market Street Shoes to grab some items. They always know what to show us. And let me tell you, we both spent quality time to be sure we collected some amazing additions to our wardrobes. They have some of the most unique bags, shoes, and accessories. I mean, the whole shebang. It's always a good time when I get to shop with my girl Besa. Make sure you go check out Market Street Shoes, y'all, and you too can walk out with some dope gear.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. Joined now by Josephine Howell. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. Welcome to the Black Media Matters Studios.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, this is a big deal for us, by the way.
It's big for me.
This is a big, and yeah, like, wow, you look amazing.
Thank you. We represent.
Yeah, man, you know,
come on,
coordinate. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, so many different things to talk to you about. I know that you're here for the Here For Us Wall campaign. People saw the ad there, and we'll play it again here in a little bit. But you know, you came on my radar as a journalist when you caught COVID.
Yeah,
and you were, to be honest with you, at the time there was a lot of misinformation out there. Like, man, there's an old white people disease. Black people don't get COVID and everything else. You were the first person to, even for me, that was like, yo, this is real.
Very much. I remember when I first was diagnosed with COVID, and I was like, I'm not supposed to catch it. You know, really, in my mind, I was thinking I wasn't supposed to catch it. I've been careful. I've been doing this, you know, and like they were saying, you know, this ain't for the Black people, but it's so real. I just want that to be known. It's very real. And it caught me off guard. to be truthful. And then it knocked me down quickly. And I've been through a lot in my life. So to be knocked down like that and to be isolated, I was isolated. Like my children couldn't come around because, like you said, it was near the beginning and we didn't really know, and I didn't know who it would affect. And I was at home alone, feverish, sick, and really thinking hard about what I had done up until that point in my life. Like not being morbid, saying, I'm about to die right now, but realizing that there were numbers of people that had died, and there was a possibility that you could live or you could die. And what did I want to do with that information?
Wow. Yeah, it was I remember reading it, and it's like, oh, prayers up. And
Man.
I'm like, and let me tell you something though. And now that I'm actually seeing you in person 2 years later, right? Is that when you got COVID, it transitioned me as a journalist of kind of like monitoring everything, and I don't think we had started the morning update show yet. But I dug deeper, and then I went and I was like, well, hold up. And I saw in Milwaukee, there was an exploding number of Black people with COVID and all these other places with COVID. And it changed the way that I looked at it. I started writing articles then about like, hey, hold on, this thing is disproportionately hitting Black people. So you actually getting COVID like changed my viewpoint and actually, changed our reporting, and we went much deeper. And then when we got on air, we found Black doctors to talk, because we had to find culturally relevant people to talk to our community. And I think that, I'm glad that you're here, and I'm sorry you went through it, but you getting COVID, I think shifted the mindset in our community. Like, we can get COVID.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful that it affected you that way, because, I was told, Josie, you don't have to tell people you got COVID. That's a personal thing. That's about, you don't have to share it. But my thought was get on social media. Let people know, because someone asked me, so how did you get it? I don't know. Where did you get it? I don't know. But I'm in the community all the time, and it's my responsibility to let people know, because I had been everywhere. I need to let people know that I have COVID. I've hugged people. I've been around people. I've touched people. I've been in rooms with people. I've been in closed corners with people, and it's my responsibility not for me to sit at home and not want somebody to know, because I'm not the disease. I just had it. So I shouldn't be ashamed to let somebody know. Matter of fact, if it could help somebody. And so when I got on, I used my Facebook and I used my social media and anything else, and I called some people and I just let them know, hey, this is what's happening to me. And I got on it on days that I looked halfway presentable. I didn't get on it on days when people probably would have been showing up at my door, because I didn't want people to feel sorry or really worry about me. I just wanted them to be awake. I wanted them to know this is real. This can happen. This is not a hoax that the government is doing. It's really happening. And if you don't believe things, that somebody else, I need you to know that I'm telling you for a fact that I don't have a cold. This thing is kicking my butt, and I am making arrangements to make sure that my stuff is in order. That's how bad it was for me. And I'm just grateful, because I was told go to the hospital, and I made up in my mind, if anything gonna happen to me, it's gonna happen to me in my house. Because, anybody that knows me knows, and it's bad to say it, I'm not proud of it. You usually have to call the ambulance before I go in. That has changed.
Right.
In my life. I seek out medical advice more now.
The thing is that even now, there's a lot of people that I know personally who didn't have that level of courage that you had to say, like, hey man, I've got it. Because we're 2 years later now. There was a lot of stigma around COVID, a lot of stigma in our community. I mean, nationwide, but specifically in our community, there's a lot of stigma.
Yeah.
And it's like, and there was a lot of people who got COVID and went on with their life, or didn't tell people, or didn't come out, or didn't try to share. And so I just want to acknowledge that was, that what you did in making and letting people know really actually did have an impact. And like I even shared, it had an impact with me.
I'm so grateful, because I know some people that didn't tell people, and you just see them out and about. You thinking, for real though? It's like it's our responsibility to take care of one another, and whether you believe that somebody is telling you the truth, whether it be government or the doctors or anything, when you know better, you should do better.
Right. And you got vaccinated.
Yes.
Right. And so one of the things that I wanted to bring up with you is that there's a lot of people who did get COVID who are like, I got COVID, so I'm not going to get vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
You got COVID. You got through COVID. Why did you decide to get vaccinated?
So I got COVID, and it lasted for 3 months, and I had all of the things. They just stayed with me. Even after I didn't have COVID, I couldn't breathe, and I had trouble sleeping, and all kind of different things was happening, and I was presented the opportunity to get the vaccination when it first came out, and I didn't. I mean, I waited a long time, but I am a woman of faith, and even to what I was going to wear today, I try to make sure I ask God, what should I do? Because when I go out the door, I'm going out not just for me. I'm going out to be amongst everybody else. And I really prayed, and I really studied, and I really searched, and I'm gonna tell you this: the more research I did, the more confused I got. It was one on this side, it was something on this side, it was something on this side, and then I just said, truthfully, Omari, the same God that could keep me if I didn't get it is the same God that can keep me if I got it. So I'm gonna go because it was an unction on me. One day I was at work, and I spoke. It just came out, and I just spoke to said, "Hey, you still got that vaccine?" And they was like, "Yeah, you can come in." And it was the next day they told me to get it, and I was like, "So I'm okay with that." But I do want to say that was my journey for me.
Well, I would say this though, is that I'm glad that you're sharing that journey, because there's a lot of people who might feel in a similar sense, like, oh, well, I got it. And then the public reaction might be like, oh, well, you need to go get the vaccine immediately. But that's not always everybody's journey to getting vaccinated. There's people who've had it and are still hesitant. A lot of people confused because the information is confusing, and it's not just on the local Facebook page. Even some of the things, the CDC says this, the CDC says that, CDC says this, CDC says that. But it looks like it was your own study and your own relationship, your own spiritual relationship, that ultimately led you to it.
It was. And I know I had somebody say, you were worried about losing your job. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not worried about losing a job. I go to work for benefits. But for years, all I did was music, or all I did was the theater or public. So I'm not worried about, truthfully, my job is not what sustains me anyway. So it wasn't that, and that had not even come up yet when I got it. It had not even come up that if you don't get it, you can't work at some place. And because if I hadn't got it and they told me to leave, I'd have said, bye, it's been real. I just believe that, just like with this, I could be in a house, right? We could be in the same house, and I could smoke cigarettes, right? And it could put some damage on me, but it might give you cancer.
Right.
So the same thing that affects me might not affect you, and the same thing that doesn't affect me might affect you. So you have to, it's a personal, searching, asking questions, seeking, for me praying, for those of faith praying, and really deciding. Just make the choice. And once you make the choice, know this: my choice affects you and everybody else. So if you don't get it, if you do get it, I still wear my mask. I still, when I'm other people, I make sure everybody is okay, but I still do the things that is necessary in order to keep people, because I still don't know, but I'm okay with what I chose.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the stuff around COVID was, one, the protection of ourselves,
Mhm.
but two, how do we protect other people?
Other people.
Right? And it's like, even with the mask might not necessarily protect you. It's about protecting other people and other people in the space. I want to talk to you about this Here For Us, about the campaign. Actually, we're gonna play the
Go ahead.
we're gonna play the clip right here. We'll talk about it.
My name is Josephine, and I live in Renton, Washington. I am a singer, and I use the arts as a way for me to elaborate on all the concerns of our community. I ended up with COVID, and it impacted my life greatly. I was told sometimes to rest, but resting felt like I would die. I was told to lay down, but laying down flat took my breath away. Even after getting COVID, I still did not want to have anything to do with the vaccination. There was much fear in the African American community, and no one should react out of fear. Before you do anything, pray. And make sure that you're praying to get the answer and not praying to get your answer. Since I received the vaccination, I've been able to breathe. Reconsider asking yourself why you are hesitant, because it wouldn't come up if it didn't need to come out. I'm telling you to stand and make a choice. We'll be all right.
All right, look at you. You know what I'm saying? A commercial is very nice. As somebody it was in TV, this is very nice. A few questions. Why did you decide to take part in this campaign? And second question is, how has it been for you?
So I got a call. I was asked to be a part of this because I was one of the ones that was hesitant. I was one of the ones that didn't want to have anything to do with it. And then I changed my mind and received the vaccination. And up front, I was just like, yeah, I could do that because that was my choice, And I just wanted people to hear the reason why I did it. And for me, it's some people have been very disappointed.
Really?
Very disappointed, because the truth of the matter is they believe that I'm pushing something, and I'm just telling you about me. I need somebody might be, thinking about it and worrying about it and saying no because somebody else said no. And I'm just saying, I had to do some things for me. Some people were just some people have actually spoken out like, you swallowed the Kool-Aid. No, it didn't taste like Kool-Aid. It wasn't liquid. It was a shot. I'm not telling someone to do it, and I'm not telling someone not to do it. I just need you to know that I understand the struggle, the fight, the thought of not doing it.
Right. And I think that's probably one of the most important things of it. We're here on Converge, we like to say that we've, for 2 years now, and we're, at least since the vaccine came out, so over a year and some change, we like to leave space and grace, right? And this is what's kind of made us a little bit different here, at least I think, is that even when a lot of the communications come out about COVID, and a lot of the communication was about shaming. It was like, oh, well, you haven't got the vaccine. I was like, there's absolutely no way we're putting anything on air that's going to shame people in our community, that's going to put them in a box and everything else. And we want to be able to leave a lot of space and grace for people out there who have questions about the vaccine. I think it's important. Somebody like you who are like, man, you know what? This was my journey. Does my journey sound familiar to yours? Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? You might pop in, because that's a unique one in the sense that, one, you came out publicly. You were, like you said, in Seattle, you're probably one of the first well-known Black people to come out and say, hey, I've got COVID. So you came out, but then after getting COVID and it impacting you and looking like you had some signs early on of maybe having long COVID, you were still hesitant about the vaccine. And then you went and did your research, got even more confused. And then you was just like, okay, what do I need to do?
Can I get an answer?
Yeah. And it's crazy because unfortunately as Black folks, we live in this space of this absence of trust that there's so many different things pushing against us. And, my daughter, who she got vaccinated, but she was somebody who was initially hesitant and this and that. She did she's a big researcher. She ended up getting vaccinated. And her whole thing is like, there's a lot of misinformation out there as well, because Black people are dying at a higher rate.
Oh my goodness.
Latino people dying at a higher rate. We don't see it here in Seattle. Seattle, we're in a bubble. Right, Seattle, coming from the Central District, right next to the Central District, you're close to world-class healthcare. Up there, up Pill Hill. That's not the reality for Black people in a lot of America, especially down south. I went to a lot of funerals, COVID-related funerals, and everything else, and people don't realize here the big impact that COVID has had on Black communities across America.
They don't realize it, and I'm so glad you said that, Omar, because in 2.5 years, I have sang for more funerals than I've sang in my entire life. And I have a really good friend, Paul Richardson, and he was my keyboard player. And he was saying, well, so what's going on with you? And I was telling him, I got this heaviness, right? I don't know. I just don't feel like, even going out the door, when the phone ring, I don't even want to answer it because I know it's bad news. And he helped me identify, you're used to singing for graduations and weddings and celebrations, and all you're singing for right now is loss. I would be on the phone. They have the phone up to their loved one, that was in the house, or I would ask, I could even ask some of the hospitals, can you just get a call through? Can you just stand there? I want to sing for somebody or say some words, because families couldn't come in. We would go out to people's houses and stand outside and sing at people's houses. And it was affecting us. My family is in Chicago, and it was so many people dying. We was just every week we were having death. But some people were thinking it wasn't touching the Black community, and I was thinking, what?
It was Seattle was in a bubble.
Yeah,
Seattle is 100%. Like I can tell you, it's in a bubble here. COVID ravaged the Black community in deaths. It ravaged the Black community in closed businesses. It ravaged our community just in the sense of future generational wealth.
Yes.
We've been disproportionately impacted by COVID. Man.
And our children.
Yeah.
Our children were separated, isolated in homes with frustrated, confused, and anxious parents. And they were just, some of them were educated on some of it, but they still, the capacity to understand what's really going on. They never seen this before in their time, and we hadn't seen it before in our time. It affected us in a whole lot of ways.
Before we let you go, maybe you can, if you want to update everybody, what are you doing musically and everything else? I mean, things have opened back up.
Yeah.
Tell us what's going on with you on the music front.
So on music, I'm singing. I've been doing a lot of private functions, but I love, not that I don't like private functions, but I love the public. So I love being out and about with the public. And so I've been working with, collaborating with a lot of different artists and just working, writing. So grateful to be writing. That's something that COVID did do. So in a sense, COVID kind of saved my life because I was going like, and I had to slow down. And writing, doing collaboration with the dance theater, with Spectrum Dance Theater, and with people in different states. It's just been, it's wonderful. And watching the change of artists, their mindset, their heart, like the consciousness of why they have the platform. I love that.
That's great. Is there any social media or website or anything you want to
Yeah,
follow?
I have JosephineHowell.com, and then Josephine Howell Productions is my production company. And I help people. If you have a dream that you want to do, I can help you put it together. Or I can tell you, yeah, you probably need to do that in 2 years because you don't have a budget, but we can work through a whole lot. Yeah. And Facebook, of course, but I'm a people person, right? I like to just be out and about and be with people. So that's about it.
Fantastic. With Josephine Howell, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, the Morning Update Show continues.
Depths of Belize, the travelers come across the waters, harvesting with their hands, learning of resilience rooted deep in the lands, culture thriving like a fire ablaze, sizzling with a pop and a chop, sharing its ways. Knowledge simmers and grinds into the hearts and minds, cutting away from the surface stories and colonial lies, boiling it down, breaking its shell as the truth pours out and gets plated collectively with love, spooned into bowls, feeding the soul. Garifuna, alive and strong at Palmetto Grove.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. Before we get out of here, so I have to acknowledge this right here. The comments is popping. You know what I'm saying? Welcome, Curtis Delgado II, also known as Cuddy.
What's up, O?
Hey, what's up, man? It's been a minute.
Been a minute now, but it feels good to be back.
All right, good stuff. Wanted to bring you out here because Curtis and his clothing line, Filthy Clothing, right?
Yes, sir.
Filthy Clothing. Curtis went and designed this, and it was a fantastic surprise. And on the back, it says,
"Show on the back."
Oh, it says, "No, how can we do this?
A little spin.
Are we able to get the back?
Don't mind the tag, but
yeah, we got the no
excuses.
We got the no excuses there on the back. Designed by Curtis Delgado. Tell us real quick about Filthy Clothing and what you got going on. You got some stuff coming out tomorrow, right?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's gonna be Saturday at noon. But Filthy Clothing Company, it's a lifestyle brand. And for anyone who's from Seattle and knows that term of endearment, filthy is an aura. It's a form of confidence, and it's a certain level that once you reach, can't nobody tell you nothing. So if you're labeled as filthy, that's just something of high achievement. And so this year, we, following like Converge, taking with the No Excuses initiative, we also took one this year about just knowing your worth and promoting everything involving that and so forth. So Saturday, like I said, at noon, we have these new Pay Me sweatsuits dropping, just, demanding our worth and just letting you know to pay us our worth as we continue to create and move in our purpose.
All right, good stuff. So you guys know, support Black business. You know what I'm saying? We want to get out there and be supportive of it. Curtis, tell everybody here real quick. We'll look into the camera. Okay. Tell everybody how they can get up with Filthy Clothing.
Oh, yeah. You can follow us on Instagram at _ the clothing company FCC. And if you would like to shop with us, it is www.cuddyworldwide.com/shop. And also, we got these Phil Shiesty masks. COVID's still around here. So just stay safe out there and still swag it out.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, Curtis.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, a few things before we get out of here today. Let me see here. A reminder, we got a few overlays here. The next Monday, there it is, 6 o'clock, Art of the Matter. You got T-Dub, Caleb Bailey. That's at 6 p.m. That's a live show that's happening right here. I think you'll be around to help out on that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. And then also a reminder that we have our Community Voices next Tuesday. It's going to be great. This is our Here For Us Community Voices, vaccine hesitancy in the Black community. And that's going to be at 6:30 p.m. next Tuesday. And that's going to be hosted by Besa Gordon. And then around 8:15 on Tuesday. Well, no, you're getting ahead of me over there. Around 8:15 next Tuesday night, with Proof's in the building today taking pictures, but it's the truth with Proof. We don't have the overlay yet, but we'll have it up there. So Proof, his show, if people going to be ready for you, Proof? I hope so. All right. All right, he's gonna be bringing it. Good stuff. And you did see one of the overlays there for tomorrow, Feel Good Friday. We've got T-Dub. There she is. T-Dub's gonna be in here. That's the Art Queen at Converge. Also, we're gonna have the Rewind with Besa. And Treyana's got a few more great guests lined up as well. Feel Good Friday is always a good one. Man, what an amazing show. Want to thank Seattle Fire Chief Harold Scoggins. Also want to thank the legend, Josephine Howell. I mean, man, what a great show. And, of course, got to thank Cuddy over at Filthy Clothing, man, for this great setup right here.
Definitely.
The good stuff. That's it for me this week, everybody. As you know, tomorrow, man, is my day off, and it's Feel Good Friday. Been a fantastic week. I appreciate your support. And on that note, where you want me? You want me right here? Oh, okay. There you go. On that note, want to remind you, go forward in your purpose, go forward in your humanity. And until tomorrow at 11 a.m. Peace.
Peace.
What do I see through a lens of fear? 1,000 little steps to go. What do I fear after all these years? Lord knows I don't even know. I've been running on the edge of a sundial, sleeping in the shadow. I've been begging you to see me, then hiding beyond the unreachable. Looking out left on a right-hand turn, just trying to make a deal. A lazy shoes and love is a love that turn. That's the kind of food that heals. I've been searching for the end of an era, waiting to be ready. The world is bigger than a moment. Be steady, that's how you can feel it's real. But I feel naked in my new clothes, 'cause I got used to hiding the holes. This whole world got new tricks and I'm in the thick of it. This I swear I'm already sick of it. At least I found the antidote. Oh. I know no one is a shadow. I know no one is a shadow.